Ciao a tutti, my name is Francesca Lamanna and I'm a fashion and portrait photographer based in Rome, and today, with the help of these two little fellas here, I'm going to show you how to shoot in a small apartment just like mine. So I'm going to show you different lighting setups that you can do in your home studio as well. It was a little bit difficult to film during the portrait session as the space is very small, so I prepared for you some lighting diagrams to show you exactly how I place the lights to get the different looks. And of course, you're going to see some behind the scenes as well. Something that is truly important to me is creating a mood board a few days before the shooting. This is a very important step. You have to discuss with your team the idea that you have in mind, so on the day of the shooting you don't waste your time talking about makeup and other things. My first lighting setup was very simple. I used a seamless white background paper and I placed the Chiara very close to it. Talking about lights, I used one single studio light with an octabox slightly feathered on her left side. On the opposite side instead, so on her right side, I used a V-flat which I covered with a black sheet. The black sheet absorbed the light coming from the octabox, creating more contrast. With the same lighting setup, we took some more pictures using different outfits. Chiara has a very strong personality and I wanted this to emerge from the photos. That's why I tried to play with light as much as possible. For some of these shots, I asked her to turn away from the light. Let me know in the comments if you like the result. This particular photo inspired me to try something new, so in post-production I doubled the layered and reduced the opacity, and this is the result. For the following pictures, I used exactly the same background, but this time I wanted to make it completely white. In order to do so, I used the two V-flats to isolate my subject first from the background itself, and just behind the two V-flats I placed two SB900 speedlights by Nikon set at maximum power, flashing directly onto the background to make it completely white. My subject instead was lit by my studio light, but this time I didn't use the octabox, I used the beauty dish instead, that in my opinion was the best choice for these close-ups. To try something different, I switched off the beauty dish, but the scene was a little bit too dark for my taste. So I once again used the octabox, but this time I didn't direct the light towards Chiara. I directed it instead towards the white ceiling, and this added more light to the scene, giving this very soft effect. I'm going to make a video on the white background, so make sure you check it out. As it often happens, the final photos turn out to be my favorite ones. This time I used a grey paper background. Talking about lights, I used the same lighting diagram that I used at the very beginning of the shooting for these very first shots. So once again I used the octabox slightly feathered on the left side of the model with the V-flat covered with a black sheet on the right side. And for these final pictures instead I used as a main light a beauty dish with a grid. The grid directs all the light onto your subject and the light quickly falls, so it creates even more dramatic shots. And once again on the right side of the model I placed the V-flat with the black sheet to absorb even more light. I believe the shots look amazing in black and white, but please let me know in the comments what you think about the photos and about the video, of course. And if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumb up and you subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, grazie mille, and see you in the next video. Ciao!